everyone. Welcome to the UN. This is Shell Vaughn or Vaughn B. And joining me is Mr. Elton, who has
Or
been away for a little bit.
right.
So, how have you been, sir?
Good evening. Doing fine. Thanks for asking. Day off work. That's always a plus.
Oh yeah, and speaking as a person who's was had to go to work today, it was fun. Uh, I was accused of hanging out in one of the rooms a little too much today, even though I wasn't.
Oh, that's always
Yeah,
good.
yeah, you know how they see you doing something and then they come back and like a little while later and they see you kind of in the same area and they just assume that all the time in the middle.
Even staying there.
Right. So I was like, all right, whatever. So I was basically told that you should probably not go by there because it's the thing where they got go walk around and expect everything.
I
Yeah,
see. I see. Yeah.
yeah. So it's like whatever. But
Yahoo! Yay work.
oh yeah, that's why we are doing this particular thing to get away to get our own stuff going, so we don't have to deal with that. You're gonna have to deal with you know like work, even if you're doing something that you enjoy doing.
hmm
Is it is the minutia of just how everyday life is. You
That's
know,
true. Yeah.
yeah, it is what it is. So
Got gotta love people.
yeah. Could be worse though, man. We are not in a war torn environment, so
That's a plus.
yeah, that is a major plus. It's called first world problems.
Yes.
All right, all right. Oh, do you remember? All right, back when my refrigerator broke and I couldn't get the regular ice cubes out of it, and all it does, even still now, it just does the crushed ice cubes.
Okay.
So I'm like, it's a problem, but in terms of the grand scheme of everything in life, it's not a problem.
It's probably a minor nuisance.
Right. It is a
An
first world.
inconvenience. Yeah.
Right. No, it's still annoying. See, those kind of problems are still annoying, and I hate it when people like act like it's not. It's just an overall perspective. It's not an actual problem. You know.
Speaking of, my refrigerator still works, but the ice machine's totally out.
See.
Yeah, I mean, I tried cleaning it too, and
Hmm.
to no avail. Actually, it worked when
Uh-huh.
initially cleaned it out,
Hmm.
and then I went back like a few days later, and then now it's not pumping out any ice at all.
Right. So it's like that's still a problem. It's just
Not that I even use the ice machine a lot anyway, but
all right. Okay. So in terms of someone having a issue that's a bit more than ice. All right. So do you remember how the Screen Actors Guild, and I'm gonna put this article up uh for now. Uh the Screen Actors Guild had the strike and all that stuff, right? So they had hints of dragging in the video game voiceover people into it, right? But that never came to fruition. So this is kind of a repercussion of that particular thing. So all right, so last September, the union members voted yes to authorize a video game strike, and that's basically what I'm talking about, right? Reasons why included a desire for better wages, increased safety precautions. What do you need? Safety precautions at a video game company, but I'm like, okay. I don't really understand that. I worked at a video game company. The only safety precautions that we had was eating too many Twizzlers in the chair that I was sitting in.
I was about to say, make sure it's an ergonomic chair.
Yeah, that was but dude, like look, you're sitting on your butt. Like I just bought this an Apple Watch, right? And one of the things for health is standing up. So it was like Apparently, you're supposed to stand up for 12 hours a day.
Oh, wow.
I don't know why. That seems like a lot to me, but I'm not a
It does
health
seem like a
expert.
lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a health expert, so maybe that's why with all the standing desk and all that time stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyway, so all right, back to the article. Yeah, now just a few months later, the SAG-AFTRA has signed an agreement with Replica Studios, an AI voice technology company, to allow game developers to use AI voices. Various video game voice actors like Yang Ye, who people make fun of, have publicly stated that they and other actors they know were not aware of this. Every voice actor I know not only didn't approve this, they pretty much heard about this for the first time today on Twitter.
Wow, that's tough.
Right. So, okay. Paves the way for professional voice over artists to safely explore new employment opportunities for their digital voice replicas with industry leading protections tailored to AI technology, allowing AAA video game studios and other companies working with Replica to access top SAG after talent. According to the union, this agreement will enable Replica and union members to engage under a fair and ethical agreement to safely create and license digital replicas of their voices. All right. This is kind of messed up for the voiceover folks
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
yeah, do you remember when I played you that Tupac song and it was Tupac with it Nate Dogg, right?
Mm-hmm.
It sounded like Tupac and Nate. It sounded like Tupac
Yeah.
and Nate Dogg made a
Right.
brand new song.
Right.
This is basically the same thing, right? So
It's here.
dude, but I was saying this. It's like there are people yelling and screaming about this kind of stuff. Like you should have yelled about this shit 5-10 years ago. Maybe you could have did something about it, but right now, we're in the is what it is part of the story. You know?
I mean, if even if they did like protest earlier, would that have made a difference?
Probably not.
Yeah. I felt
No.
like this is kind of inevitability, you know.
Well, it's like yelling about the robots. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
Boston Robotics have been making robots for I think like 15-20 years now.
Yeah.
And a little too late for that.
Exactly.
So, okay. By most people's beliefs, the definitive Batman voice is Kevin Conroy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, if his family decides if his family signs this particular agreement and if this was offered to him before he died, right? So, like a little thing just in case kind of thing. Then that way you can have in every Batman game from now on, you can have his voice doing the new. So there will never be any other people to take over for that. So I can see why if I'm a voiceover person, this will scare the crap out of me.
Yeah, it's like it's there permanently, kind of, and then yeah, your voice lives on forever. This is really like an episode of Black Mirror.
Dude, look, Darth Vader is James Earl Jones. You can get Hayden Christensen, whoever, to be the younger version of him, but in terms of him in the suit, that is James Earl Jones. Captain Kirk, you got like all these IPs, all right? So yeah, I'm just curious as to what the future of this. So let's see what else it has to say in this article. The union says this contract was approved by affected members of the voiceover performer community, but Ye is not alone in voicing his concern over this agreement publicly on Twitter and elsewhere. Steve Bloom, whose voice credits include Deadpool, Call of Duty, Rocksteady's Batman, blah blah blah. All right. Excuse me. With all due respect, you stated an article approved by affected members of the union force over performer community. Nobody in our community approved this that I know of. Games are the bulk of my livelihood and have been for years. Who are you referring to? See, this is like my issue when it comes to like unions. You know, say what you want about them. Like, I think unions are good when they're small. It's like when they get to a certain size, you get stuff like this, where this is some kind of agreement that they have made on behalf of these other people that are just going to basically screw them.
That's true. Yeah, it's like if the union gets too big, then it's like, wait, I never agreed with this, or
Right.
but
So
you
they
are
just got
impacted by it.
yeah. So they just got to get a handful of people to okay with this, and here you go. So I don't know. In addition to the commissioner's performer consent and negotiates for uses of the digital voice double and requires that performers have the opportunity to opt out of this continued use in new works. I don't know, dude. This probably is something that's gonna get abused. This
It raises a ethical question too.
well, oh, they have yeah, like the thing with Tupac, bro. I mean, it sounds like a Tupac song, and it's like I don't know how his family feels about that.
Yeah, exactly.
So they had some replies to his tweet. So all right, this on to okay. So the usual Twitter haters. See, it's people who aren't going to be affected by this, who don't give a shit, who don't seem to understand that this is going to hit you for like at some point. You have the exact gravely voice for every single character ever. AI will have better range than you. Commercial. Every notice how the statement was worded very carefully. It implies that this new agreement was approved by the voice actors, but I think it's actually talking about the generic contract we all voted on getting passed. In that paragraph, the reader thinks they are the same thing. Dude, that's some crazy shit, man.
It is crazy.
Okay. This let's check out this other thing that I saw too. Yeah, about CES. Let me share this. And yeah, this was something I did look at some of the like. Did you watch any of the CES footage?
No, I didn't.
Well, okay, AI is going to change games in countless different ways, and it's going to come at a cost too. We've already seen one of the potential costs is the voiceover work stuff. So what else does it say? AI has become a kind of shorthand for anything gets better over time, but the true conversation about generative, what the hell? Generative AI. Basically, is there are several AI models out there that can take a bunch of data and generate content from it, whether it's writing, images, videos, and as we saw from NVIDIA, conversations. Wow. Yeah. And this is another thing. So just like the people, with the Twitter stuff, and you got people crapping on this. I'm like, bro, I don't think you really understand what this is going to do. It's like, we're at the beginning part of that sci-fi story. Yeah, like you said, a Black Mirror episode. Right. We're at the beginning parts of that.
Yeah.
More than likely, most of us are going to be too old by the time whenever happens, it really happens. I mean, like, especially me. I'm like, I ain't gonna. So 20 years from now, I'm not gonna care. Unless I gotta run away from the robots, then maybe I'll care then.
That's true, but yeah, this is a big thing.
Yeah, and so it's like if you have kids, but I saw something today where because of technology, right? employers are finding that Gen Z are having a very difficult time with interviews. It's like they don't under
Oh.
yeah, they don't know how to be social
Mm-hmm.
like in face to face. So when you're having a conversation, they don't get the cues because they spend all of their time talking to people on little tiny screens.
Chris screen. Yeah.
There's there's no body language. There's no somebody sitting back looking at you and how they're like, how they're standing and how they're presenting themselves is an indication of how they're feeling in the conversation you're having with them.
Wow, that's a eye-opening thing.
Well, it is, but if you spend all your time talking like, all right, like my godson, he plays games with his friends all the time, but he plays them online and they talk to each other through iPad and whatnot. So he's looking at them in a little tiny little.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the body language he gets is when one of us comes out and tells him to be quiet. But so he could tell by the way that we're standing, we're not particularly happy with his. But other than that, yeah, and imagine that's your entire existence. You growing like, even though you're younger than me, but you still kind of existed before the internet was as it is.
Yeah.
So your teachers and all that stuff, still you got a lot of that stuff. So people who came behind you, yeah, it was none of that. And then
They
you got
don't
the
have that.
kids. Yeah,
Yeah.
you got the kids who are being raised by their iPads. You got the ones whose first 2 years of their life, Zoom calls and all that stuff instead of like in preschool. So there was a lot like you learn a lot. We learn from watching other people. All right.
True.
So I'm just curious as to what happens when you are having whole conversations with the computer and the computer is talking to you. Not necessarily, it won't be human like, but it'll be a beginning approximation of what a human is.
Kind of like uncanny valley territory.
Yeah, to a degree, but like,
Isn't it like you feel like you're talking to a human, but yeah, as you said, without the social part of it.
right. So
And that
we're
would be
already at the point,
difficult because humans are social creatures.
right? So
Mm,
what happens when you take all that away? But like,
exactly.
look, what this means is like with the AI stuff is when you playing GTA, right? GTA 7, not necessarily 6, but GTA 7, where everyone in the game, because this is gonna be 10, and they put them out every 10 years. So 10 years from now, GTA 7, right? So think about now and 10 years from today. So GTA 6 is probably not gonna come out for another 2 years. So you're looking at uh 2037 or something like that for GTA 7. It is all going to be this all AI generative conversations with your dude running around, and everyone is going to be acting in a simulated, realistic viewpoint.
Oh my gosh.
But
For me, I would say the word to describe all this is unsettling, at least.
right, but it will be
Yeah.
to you. But you got
Yeah.
to consider a 5-year-old now, someone who's 5, iPad put in front of their face. The parents, the kids yelling, so the parents do what? Here, here, but there you go. Use this. Stop yelling. So that person 10 years from now is a teenager. Everything is interactive. Everything is based off of AI. So that will be normal for him. It won't be normal for me. It won't be normal for you, but it will be normal for them.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So um, and from stuff that I've read, there's a lot of stunted development in a lot of different ways, which is crazy considering how the vast amount of information that you have access to. It you think that it shouldn't,
but it
but
does.
right. But I've also heard this guy talking today, and he was saying he's a tour guide, right? And he was saying that he was doing something. It was kids around the same age that they were talking about in terms of the Gen Z thing, and it was like 18 years old, and they just knew all kinds of stuff, right? And hold on. So they just knew all kinds of stuff that he didn't even know. So it can go both ways. So it may have more to do with like your parents. So if your parents are aware of what's happening to people and actively push you away from that, not enough where you are come across as a weirdo, but more so it's like you have a better understanding of what came before you, because a lot of them don't. They have like no clue what happened before them. So that means a lot of stuff is going to happen to them, and it will come as a surprise to them when it actually shouldn't.
Oh yeah.
I don't
Oh,
know.
that's a this is a scary thought experiment. But I don't know if it's even a thought experiment anymore because it's
Well, I mean,
happening.
it is the progress of
Yeah.
progress, I guess. It just
Yeah.
because the concept of you being able to go to from Europe to America in a day, less than a day, would be astounding to people a couple
Who
hundred
lived
years ago.
before? That's true.
Yeah,
Doing
like
video calls with someone too, like
dude,
halfway across the world. Yeah.
it's straight up Star Trek. This is
Yeah.
Star Trek stuff. Like
Right. Right.
one of the things at CES that they mentioned that I saw, they had the transparent television.
Oh wow.
Right. And they were showing it in no, it was cool because they were showing it in displays. Let me see if I can find what and I'll show it to you. See now. Yeah, it was pretty cool. Okay, parent. All right. Do something short. Trying to find something so I won't get hit for it. Let me share this tab.
What is up, guys? I just got back from Samsung's first look event here at CES 2024, and they were showing off the world's first transparent
Can
micro
you see it?
LED display. Yes, it's
Yeah.
transparent, meaning that you can actually see through it. And the one they had on display was slightly tinted. And then what was being displayed on the actual screen, it almost looked like a 3D hologram. It was one of the coolest things that I've ever seen. Now, no clue on when this technology will actually be seen in a retail device, but it's really cool to see where this technology is going.
Wow.
Yeah, and so, but that's very Star Trek. So you add that, and then you add touchscreen elements to that, right? And then you have the Star Trek displays,
Yeah. Right.
right? So the future can be cool. It could be it's going to be interesting. So it's not it don't necessarily mean that it's going to be a negative thing. Just like let me go back to share this particular screen again. See what else they have to say about. All right. So, okay. Chat GTP AI in game is going to get bigger. duh, 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 duh. Okay, they don't really mention much. Get more expensive, and that sucks. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, hold on. Dude, it's like he'll be cool for about 20 minutes, then he'll get excited. So now his dad.
Yeah, I think you had a few choice words for him.
No, dude, it is what it is. I'm gonna buy some stuff that'll help like soundproof my room a little bit. But so that's gonna it is what it is. So I mean like is you're gonna get improvement, but it is gonna be what it is, man. It's like
I think you had a good summary, Siobhan. It's change, and change doesn't necessarily mean that it's bad. It's just,
right.
doesn't necessarily mean that it's good either.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, dude. And but that I saw a bunch of articles about people, and the thing that but AI that kind of sucks is like when you look up like when you type in the chat GTP and you want something, it just basically takes other people's stuff and kind of smushes them in together.
Right.
So what's gonna happen though, it is gonna get rid of all of the folks who are not talented. I think it's gonna raise the cream from the bottom. So because people are gonna still want authenticity, and you're just gonna have to know how to exist in the world that it is. So we'll see. I think it go ahead.
That's a good 2 cents on that.
No, but like, all right. A lot of stuff there used to be gatekeepers. It's like, all right, in terms of music, okay. Back in the day, in order for you to get into be a producer, the keyboards and all that stuff cost a lot of money, right? You're talking about like $500, $600, $700, $1,000 or whatever, right? So you had to have money in order to really be a producer, or you had to have enough talent that somebody who had money wanted to invest in you. So it became a gatekeeper, right? So now, and I'll show it to you. Show this thing. This is all right. That's my little keyboard. That costs $150. Right. So with that, you can go get some basically free. If you have a Mac computer, you get GarageBand, and you spend another $400, you get Logic, right, on Mac. It basically allowed anybody who wanted to even attempt to be a producer can have more access than it was when I was 20.
Oh, wow.
So just like everything, when the price comes down for everything, it turns into American Idol. You know, when the first couple of weeks of American Idol?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it comes with. Everybody. So you get a lot of people who suck. You got a lot of people who sound like other people, so they're not even that authentic. So
all right.
So what we have, you have a handful of dudes who basically you hear about, and then there's like thousands and thousands of other people. So I think with the AI stuff will at some point kind of make everything kind of back like how that was, where you really have to have a lot of talent, because people are going to be looking for, I think the way that I can say it is they're going to want a steak when everything else is Salisbury steak, because they can get a Salisbury. They can get a Salisbury steak from like any place, but like an actual steak, especially
That's a great analogy.
Yeah, I mean, especially a well-cooked steak.
Yeah.
It's like hard spicy nowadays.
That's a great analogy.
My like, all right, my homie, he likes was it not your New York strip, but it's a
ribeye.
Ribeye, yeah. So he like Angus ribeye, right? For 3 of these things, it's $75.
Right.
So the funny bit is like there's not a lot of them, but people pay that because you want that taste. So at some point, people will pay a lot of money for authenticness. Like, yes, you can get a
AI
you'll be able
generated
to,
thing.
like whatever, an
Yeah.
AI generated, like you want to read a new Harry Potter book. Yeah, you can probably at some point get some AI to make you one, and it'll be like J.K. Rowling's, but it won't be J.K. Rowling's.
Yeah.
So if if she writes another book, I think that will outsell the AI generated one.
True.
So I don't know, because she will bring new stuff to the table, and we're not at the point yet where the AI can do that.
Good point. Yeah.
All right. So before we get to the loveliness that was Echo, I did see something that I want your opinion on. All right, let me share this. Wrong button. I got my Streamcast there working, and there's one thing that it cannot do, like the share screen stuff. I mean, I can share a screen, but I still got to set it all up and all that stuff first.
Oh.
No, but it actually helps me when I want to switch back to like the camera and stuff around, so I can be all, hey, I can be by myself with the background, so I can switch back and forth easier. All right. A film producer claims studio executives don't believe in superhero fatigue. Rather, they think the problem is that their IP isn't universal enough. Yeah. And can't figure out why they're failing. Okay. So, film producer Priyanka Matu shared that studio executives believe that the problem with many of their big budget superhero films is not fatigue, but rather their IP isn't universal enough. All right. I regret to inform you that I now have had multiple conversations with studio executives who still don't believe in superhero fatigue. They legit think the problem is their IP isn't universal enough. As predicted, they think Barbie was about the doll. Yeah.
That's a hot take if I've heard one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Barbie wasn't necessarily about the doll, but it was more so of the memory. And this is why the whole thing is I don't think they understand what the universal thing is. It's like, like everyone who went to go see Barbie had a Barbie growing up.
Right. Okay.
All the Barbies weren't the same color. All the Barbies everyone couldn't afford all the fancy Barbies. So some people had the basic Barbie, and some people had the Malibu Barbie, and they had the disc Barbie and all that. But it's all memories of having a Barbie. So that's the universal part. So it was still the same blonde doll with a little color variations added in the 90s and the 2000s. All right. But their grandmother had a Barbie. Mama had a Barbie. Daughter had a Barbie. So all three of them can go see the movie and reminisce about how it was when they were a kid. And that's the universal part that I don't think that they get.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not necessarily that Captain America, and this is what the whole mantle thing, because they talk about one of the lady who got fired from Marvel, and she started talking about mantles and all this other stuff. No, she thinks that that you can just take Spider-Man out of the costume and stick somebody else in it, and it's about the costume. Like, no, people resonate with Bruce Wayne. They resonate with Peter Parker. It's like because of their personality and their life and there's other stuff, and that is the universal aspect of it.
I don't think it's superhero fatigue. I think it's woke fatigue.
Yeah.
Make
Yeah.
movies great again.
Yeah.
Make superhero movies great again.
All right. There's likely a lot of truth to what Matu has to say. Former Universal's president Victoria Alonso previously shared back in 2021 that diversity and inclusion is not a political game for us. It is 100% a responsibility because you don't have the global success that we are given the Walt Disney Company without support of people around the world and every kind of human there is. This person did not understand the success of the IP. White people make up a small percentage of the global population, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Iron Man was very popular everywhere, not just
Correct.
in Europe. So that she clearly does not understand why this worked. And
I think she's right about the superhero fatigue. I don't think people have that.
No.
Her problem is that the universal enough part, I don't think she is right about what constitutes as a universal thing.
Right.
Yeah.
They may see it as I need to be represented thing. And there's a lot of people who say that.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Which
And it's
exactly.
stupid.
Yeah.
Which is kind of dumb. And it shows you don't understand what that word means.
That's right.
It's like I can identify with my favorite character is Batman. It's like I don't like Batman because he's a black man. I don't care that he's a white man. I just like his character. I like the fact that he solves crimes. He's doing the stuff that he does he has one goal. He has a belief that like a belief structure that he stringently believes in and doesn't break it.
Right.
That's the part that I
you
identify
resonate with. Yeah.
Right. All this other stuff, like I'm not a friggin' cajillionaire dude who owns. Like I'm not. Like
you don't own a Batmobile, Siobhan.
No, I don't. No, I owned a toy one when I was a kid, but I don't own one now.
What you said earlier. I think you got it right in the nose when you said they're confusing universal enough with representation.
Yes.
Yeah.
And when you listen to what they say, it's like they don't understand it. That's probably why she's well, she got scapegoated, but there's a reason why she's not where she's at. All right. In a previous she said that diversity, inclusion, and gender parity all go hand in hand with showing the world as it is. There are 6,000 characters in the Marvel library that we have access to. So if this goes right, we will be telling these stories for many, 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 many generations to come. It's hard to break it till you didn't go right. Because people like the characters. It's like Star Wars. They wanted to female the whole thing up, and it cost them a lot of customers, a lot of which were women who liked Star Wars the way that it was. They are a fan of Star Wars, not this thing that you made like with the Men in Black with the Edgar skin suit and the bug is walking around. Yeah, that's what they it's like they just shove their stuff inside the skin suit and you can't figure out why everybody's looking at them funny. And it's like because it's not what they want. And it's like the importance of laying the ground for what's to come is in those stories that there are many different characters you can actually voice. Yeah, but you didn't do that. All right. So she's saying all this stuff, but they didn't do that. It's like if you go ahead.
Well, do you think that it is oversaturated? Like the superhero movie market?
No. Well, no, it is crap. People are tired of crap.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Right. It's like you can tell a story about a female superhero character that if you remember I was telling you before, like what I've noticed at all these things, is that what they do is they take a story that's written for a man and they just stick a woman in it. They don't change none of the fighting stuff, none of the anything,
Yeah.
and it just looks ridiculous. But you can, there are plenty of female action stars throughout the years in Chinese cinema. Michelle Yeoh, yada yada yada, right? All tiny women, but the way that they did their action scenes, it was far more believable than what they do now.
Okay,
right?
true. Yeah.
No, go look at any especially anything with Michelle Yeoh back in the in the 90s. She's running around in reality, she's not big enough to actually kick anybody. Well, that hurts a lot because she doesn't have enough force with her kick. But if you frame the fight scene in a way that it's from a woman like a certain viewpoint, she's not acting like a man doing this, then it's like, all right, it looks cool.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Zhang Ziyi.
Right.
Yeah.
It was a fantastical thing. So yeah, so everybody is flipping through trees and flying around and all this stuff. So then it's like, so all right. So you set the stage for this type of thing. So like once I get that, I'm like, okay, well, then I'm gonna sit and enjoy it. So yeah, she's 90 pounds and doing backflips but it still looks cool.
Right.
Because you set the setting for that. It's not like what was it one of them cop shows like SVU and she's running around like New York in the 2020 and she's a badass super cop. I'm like, dude, you gave me a realistic setting and then you throw something completely unrealistic in your realistic setting.
Yeah.
All right. So the reason why we have success consistently is because our audience is global. You cannot have a global audience and not somehow start to represent it. Swing and a miss.
Get it.
Yeah. No, she don't get it. Because she is talking about like this is like when she talked about the represented, you did, but you didn't understand that because you don't understand what universal means. So you didn't understand what you were doing. You thought that we got to go and do this particular thing, and it has to be, the person has to be Indian and everything in the thing has to be Indian. And it's like, no, they have their own cinema, so they don't need you to make
representing party.
Right, so they don't need you to do that. So they want something different. So for the longest time, we heard a women-led film will never open. I say, please check Captain Marvel. It made a lot of money. Yes, because you stuck it in the middle of the two biggest damn movies ever on the planet, and you implied at the end of the first one that you had to watch this movie. So shut up. We all know why that movie made money, because the next one didn't make shit. So please. And they all talked about like Black Panther was never going to open and nobody wanted a completely black cast, and that made 1.3 billion. Okay. Black movies existed before this. All right. And again, you made a more, even though they had stupid elements in it from the colonial stuff, which was stupid, but you had a lead in from Civil War. He was a cool character in Civil War. People watched his movie. Now, you basically emancipated him or emasculated him. Wrong word. Emasculated him and showed that he lived in a ethno state. But other than that, and people really liked the Killmonger. So you had a compelling villain. You told it a good story. You had a compelling villain and a compelling hero.
Yeah, that's right. Not the representation.
Right.
But a story or characters characters that you could resonate with,
Right.
either the protagonist or the antagonist in the case of the Avengers.
Yeah. Well, Killmonger had a damn point. It's like, wait a
Yeah.
minute, y'all got flying cars and all this other crap, and the countries near you are in abject poverty. They're like, and you all just sit here in your little thing in the clouds. It's like, what the hell, dude? So he wasn't wrong.
Yeah. But yeah, see, it's like, it's believable, and I don't know, you could follow the character's motivations.
Right. Yeah. Don't like, and when we get to talk a little bit about, because yeah, we're only gonna talk about for like 10 minutes because that show was crap. Okay, and then they start sticking. Secondly, this company, Walt Disney CEO made similar comments in the 2022 the "Don't Say Gay," which was not the name of that bill. First of all, LGBT blah 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 are very important to us, and we deeply care about. That's a given. Okay, don't be pricks. The thing that a lot of people who are younger don't know, like I mean, back to is being old enough in the 80s to recognize what happened when it comes to like gay people, right? So in the 80s, if you coming out was like a big thing because there was a pretty good chance that if you had any kind of position of importance, you lost it.
Oh,
right. And you would see that a lot where you would get shunned. It was a lot of stuff, right? That is no longer the case. It has been the case for a while now. Most people don't care, right? So all this stuff that they're doing is like, like if your friend comes out as gay, you go, okay,
okay,
like
right.
we kind of figured that out when you were checking out you were a little too into the baseball dudes, but like, all right, whatever, that's your thing, dude. Do your thing. I don't care, right? So a lot of these fights that they're trying to fight, they already were won. So you don't have to do none of this stuff. And if you want to tell a compelling story from like someone else's culture, just tell it. You don't have to change the Little Mermaid into a black chick. They have plenty of stories about mermaids in Africa. Tell one of those. But they don't want to do that.
Right.
So you listen to these people talking, it's like, what are you talking about? She should know that things has changed. She's gay. So she know things has changed. But they act like it hasn't. All right. So it's like they've been telling stories for 100 years, and those stories have had meaningful, positive impact in the world. And one of the reasons that they've had a meaningful, positive impact is one of our core values is inclusion, acceptance, and tolerance. No. Tell a story that people can relate to. Because if you were concerned about acceptance, you wouldn't have got rid of the friggin' what's the name of that ride they got rid of because of the Song of the South?
Oh,
Splash Mountain?
Is this Splash Mountain? Yeah.
Yeah. You wouldn't have did that.
Yeah.
Because a bunch of idiots who don't really understand the fact that these stories were folklore from slaves that a white dude wrote down because they used to pass it along to each other with sorry, they used to pass it to each other like verbally, so they would tell these stories. So one day this dude heard some of them and he's like, oh, that's great, and he wrote them down because they either couldn't or I don't know why they didn't, and then that became the Song of the South. So when Walt Disney put this movie out, he got a lot of pushback from it, and not from the people who like the black folks who were offended by it. No, it was white people. So he got a lot of pushback for this thing. So you do not understand what the history behind this movie. So because of a bunch of other white folks who are offended for black people saying that it's terrible, so you got rid of everything about it because some of the stuff around that time period was kind of sketchy, but that's the time period that it existed in. So now none of these stories are going to be told, and you got rid of the ride that everybody likes because somebody else was offended for somebody else.
Ain't that something?
Right. So I keep hearing all this crap about inclusion, and you only care about acceptance, and you only tolerate stuff that is what you think is right. So how is that inclusive?
Case closed.
Right. So and he just keeps all right. So it's I don't know. It's all crap to me. But speaking of crap, we got about 10 minutes left. So did you watch all of Echo?
I did. I watched all of it today.
Dude, I feel bad for you, bro. You should go watch One Piece to get that out of your system.
It wasn't a terrible show unless there's something that I'm missing.
No, remember I told you, Ahsoka was bad.
Yeah.
And Ahsoka wasn't as bad as some other stuff. So, you know. What the problem with Echo was, I don't know why anybody did anything. Right? I saw some people talking about it, and basically the thing that they got from it is that Marvel no longer knows the difference between good and bad, right and wrong. So they write characters from Kamala Harris to her to Echo and a bunch of other folks who think that they seem to exist in the ends justify the means thing. All right.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I can do whatever I want based on my eventual goal is a noble one. So I can kill everybody in the neighborhood.
Oh.
Drag my entire family into the middle of all this stupid stuff. And you see this over and over and over and over again with all these female protagonists that they write. It's like they just don't understand that heroes aren't like that.
Right. Okay.
There was in one of they had a Batman anime thing. I don't know if have you seen that?
I think my friend showed me.
Right.
Yeah.
There's one cartoon in it that encapsulates who Batman is completely. All right. So he's testing out some new equipment, right? And so he's fighting the bad guys, and the new equipment is a personal force shield that Wayne Enterprises is working on. All right. So when he activates it, completely covers his entire body. He becomes bulletproof, punch-proof, stab-proof, everything. Right. So one of the criminals shoots at him, and the bullet ricochets off of him and hits another criminal, right? And in the stomach or something, he gets hit with a ricochet bullet. Batman, when he realizes that's happened, he cuts it off and doesn't use it anymore, even though it worked perfectly.
Oh wow!
Because it could potentially injure somebody else, and he could accidentally kill somebody, and he doesn't kill people. And that is what a hero is supposed to be.
That makes sense for
He is about his principle, right?
Right.
Echo, she shoots the Kingpin and then goes home and then has the nerve
dinner with him.
Yeah, dinner she has the nerve at the end. All right. She has the nerve at the end to fuss at him about dragging her family into this thing. And I'm like, you shot the Kingpin in New York, left New York, went back to your family, and what do you think? Nobody else was going to follow you at some point? So you the one who put your family in the mix to all of this. You the one that got your uncle and all that.
She jeopardizes her family situation.
Right.
And she actually, I think at one point she actually acknowledged that, I think she straight up said, yeah, I do that.
Like, again, they don't know how to write heroes. Like, it's not a hero, dude. Not like so. It was a
Like she's supposed to stick up more for her family.
you would think, yeah,
Yeah.
but it's like so
Instead of
everyone
trying to put them in almost near death situations.
right. So she puts a bomb on the rocket, like the weapon shipment, having no clue where it's going.
Right.
So like she assumes that it's going to this particular warehouse in the middle of nowhere, but she don't know that. So it could have been it could have been to like they could have had another warehouse that she didn't know about that was in downtown little town that they had, and it blew up like the Chick-fil-A or whatever in the middle of town. Oops.
Sorry, guys.
Like my bad. So it's like
What's your biggest gripe about it? Is it that?
no, it's not that. It wouldn't be that because this is typical for the writers for Marvel right now. So that I mean it bothered me, but that was not surprising.
Oh,
What I didn't
okay.
like was the fact that they changed. All right, you know what her powers in the comic books are, right?
I do not know. No.
She just like the Taskmaster, she has it's a physical photographic memory type of thing.
Ah, okay.
So it's like she's like she can watch you fight and then learn how to fight
She
like you. She can
right,
copy
right.
your things.
Oh,
So that
okay.
means that if she's trained well enough in the middle, like if she fights someone who's better than her, she should be able to, if she can survive long enough, get as competent as they are based off of the fight that they're in,
Wow.
which would have been
Cool.
cool as shit, right?
Yeah, yeah.
The person who wrote it decided that that was lame. So what?
Nice.
Right. So what she decided to do is like she wanted to tie her powers into her ancestors.
Oh,
And
okay.
right.
Yeah.
Okay. So she starts to show off by showing some mud people in I don't know what the hell, like a cave. I don't know what the hell this shit
There's
was.
a cave, yeah.
No, but I'm like, but is it like the cave leading to the another world or just the cave? It's like which one is it? Because you didn't really say. They had like a mystical butthole that everyone climbed into, and the giant man standing next to her didn't hold the ceiling up while she did. So I was like, okay. Then they go outside. They are clearly naked. Clearly. Butt ass naked. Then the mud starts falling off, and all of a sudden they got all clothes on. I'm like, okay, all right, whatever. And then you get to
That's enough
the
Marvel for today.
well, dude, I couldn't watch all five. Like, you are a better man than me. I couldn't watch all five. I did two, and then I did two, and then I almost stopped it at three. So when the chick stood on the boulder with the shotgun and the evil white man just stood up there and let her shoot them,
Yes.
I'm like, she's standing in the sun. She's like an easy target. And then her dad, who disapproved of her,
Joining
all of a sudden was
the mounted police
yeah,
force.
right. He's like, ooh, my baby, like my baby defied me, yeah, right. So I'm like, dude, like, all right. Then you had like the one before it in the second episode where you had the 5'2" warrior chick in the middle of the little fight with the sticks.
Oh yeah.
It's like, do you not understand how they like tribal people in general are with their women? Like, it is not just Native Americans, it's like all of them, everywhere. Like, no, you stay your ass over there. You go cook, you go whatever. I'm not even going to entertain you coming over here telling me you want to do like what? Get the fuck away from me.
Like, you are not allowed to play lacrosse.
Right. And then she's in the middle of a scrum with a bunch of everyone is a foot taller than her. But she was supposed to represent strategy. You could be the most strategic person in the world. If I'm standing next to you and you trying to grab something that I'm trying to grab, I don't care how much strategy your ass use.
You're not gonna get it.
You're not gonna get it. So apparently, all right. So apparently, she got super strength, all right, from the first chick who held up the ceiling.
Yeah, for the cave,
right?
Thing.
But it's like, why does she have the super strength and the muscle bound dude standing next to her didn't have? Okay, and she got strategy from. So everything that they listed, she was trained from a 12-year-old or however old she was by the Kingpin to be an assassin. Mm-hmm. What strategy is she going to learn that's going to benefit her from the past that she wouldn't have learned to be an assassin?
That's true. You do need strength, you do need cunning, you do need strategy.
Right.
Maybe the healing part.
That's about it. The shooting, she would have been trained to shoot.
Right.
You would have been trained. Given how she was holding her own against Daredevil before she even knew her powers existed.
True.
So I'm like, this is stupid. This is written by someone who never read a comic book, probably never seen an action movie. It's like, what the hell am I looking at? Oh, and the thing at the end with the MCU battle thing with the women balls unite, when her chubby cousin and her 70-something-year-old grandma is beating up the Kingpin's personal henchman.
He needs to hire better people around him.
Oh my dude. And again, just like they did with Kang and just like they did with Kylo Ren and other people, you do not make your protagonist better by making her antagonist suck.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
That's not how it works.
Yeah.
They have to overcome, and this is why I was not surprised. I was expecting this because everything that they write is the exact same thing. They cannot have the woman be grow or anything because maybe they don't know how to write that. Like you have to overcome.
Yeah.
Yes.
And all the things lately.
Yes, Luke Skywalker has to lose to Darth Vader in order for me to give a shit when he beats Darth Vader later.
Good point.
Like, how do you not understand that?
Yeah, it would have been a very short series and definitely not as entertaining if he beat him right away at the beginning.
But Ray beats up Kylo Ren in the first damn movie. It's like, dude, that's not.
That's true, actually. That's a really good way of putting it. I like that, Siobhan.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is Campbell. It's the hero's journey. This type of story has been told for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. Hercules does not become Hercules until he loses a bunch and he learns how to be a better fighter. That happens later.
Good point.
Then you root for him. It's like
very true, yeah.
It's like Ivan Drago has to beat up Carl Weathers' character. I forgot his name. But in Rocky, right? So Rocky retires. Ivan Drago is can I remember I can't remember. I hate being old.
Rocky?
Yeah, Rocky, like you remember Ivan Drago, the Russian USSR, right? Yeah. And he beat up Carl Weathers' character. I cannot remember the name. I'm drawing a blank right now. Apollo Creed. Yeah, I gotta turn in my black card. Right, but
you're fired.
Right. But he becomes a threat because he beat up Apollo Creed, and Apollo Creed is pretty much an equal in terms of fighting with Rocky. So Rocky had to come out of retirement and overcome a lot of stuff in order to fight him, and you cheer for him when he wins, but you have to make him a threat. And I can go from movie to movie to movie to movie. Aliens, when she beat it is Ripley beating the Queen in the end. You had to kill off all the Marines to show that the aliens are a threat in order for you to feel that Ripley is not going to be probably, that she is, because it's a movie.
It's a main character.
But you have to have the feeling that she could possibly lose. So you're cheering for her when she eventually wins.
Well said, yeah.
Yeah, it is movie after movie after
That's
movie.
true.
It's the same thing over and over and over and over and over.
You want somebody to root for.
Right. And you can't root for them if they're already awesome.
Yeah.
Like Captain Marvel was awesome. She just got more awesomer.
Exactly. That is so true. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same crap with Echo. Same thing. Ahsoka, it's like awesome and more awesome, and
they're already great from the beginning, and then they just
get better.
They just get better. Yeah.
I'm already a god. I just get to be God plus mode or something. So
that is a very good point, Siobhan. I'm satisfied with your response. Yeah, no, because I could totally, you could totally see that and feel that from past movies or in anything kind of. You want to see the hero's journey, kind of the redemption part, them overcoming and then eventually triumphing.
Yeah, and it's like they completely the thing that I when I was talking with Casey last week, and I was telling him I showed him remember I showed you the Illusions of Life book that was written basically the beginning animators in for Disney, right? Two of them wrote a book, and it's basically required reading if you're an animator. I don't know if it is anymore, but it was when I was younger. And because they figured out, they figured out the wheel, right? They figured out the wheel, right? You don't need to recreate the wheel,
right?
All right. So they figured out if you do this, you do this, you do this, you do this, people like the character. You tell the story this way, boom, 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 and you build up certain emotions or whatever by doing this. That's not changed. It's been the same thing for thousands of years.
Thousands of years, right?
And the last decade or so, the people who are in Hollywood, they have
they probably never read that book.
No, it's like they're trying to recreate the wheel.
Right.
Like, dude, we did that. You need to do something else. You can enhance the wheel, and they've got all kind of ways of them trying to enhance the wheel. They made it material difference so that it works better on different roads, that kind of thing. But they still haven't changed the basic concept of the wheel.
Right.
So, and that was the biggest issue when it came to Echo, was she didn't really care. And like when I look like Nerdrotic, he has when he talks about it, same thing. Where
I still have to watch his review on it and the Critical Drinker.
Well, it's the same premise with all of them. Whereas for some reason they're assholes, but everybody loves them. It's like, dude, the Kingpin is following this chick all over the place, and she shot him in the fucking head. It's like, dude. How is this the guy? Right? How is this the guy that terrifies friggin' New York? And I don't even know what it is. It's like a creepy uncle or something going on where like a weird fixation on this girl.
All right. Yeah.
Like, why? I have no idea. And the TV show did not tell you at all. And if I need to go watch I'm not going to watch 5 other damn shows to figure out your show. So I'm not going to watch Hawkeye or whatever the hell that is. But all right, that's enough for me. So what is your overall opinion of it?
Well, okay, I could see your point now, but as far as the series is itself, I
Mhm.
think the episodes they're fine themselves, like individually.
Okay.
Like, yeah, I guess I like the action part. Acting's okay.
Yeah.
So, probably you're right about the antagonist and the protagonist. Yeah, not very well written, I guess. Now that you put it that way, I could kind of see the light.
Mhm. But
But cinematography, I guess it's fine.
yeah, like I said,
Yeah,
it wasn't horrible. It
yeah,
just wasn't great.
yeah.
But that seems to be the case with a lot of the stuff now.
Right.
What they could have done was establish that she was a lieutenant in his organization. Have her
Oh, is that
plot
how it was in the comics?
that I'm not exactly sure, but
Okay.
I'm just I've gone off of what's like I've heard of her before, and I've gone off of what other people have talked about.
Oh, okay.
But if you establish her as a lieutenant, then you can show her how she got like that. So basically, you got to have more than 5 episodes.
Mhm.
So you establish that, and then you can have her portray him, and then like sneaky do it on a sneak tip, so he can still be whatever, and then she sneakily like does something to try to kill him, and then you can have her. All of it takes place in New York, not in like some little town in the middle of Oklahoma or whatever,
Right.
and then have him show up like later on, and then you can have a thing to show why he has the feelings for her that he does. So like you can have this story. So there's the the bare bones of the story could work. It's just the execution was just terrible.
Mhm.
Because like I think the person just wanted to tell us a story of the Choctaw Nation.
Right.
It's like okay, you
I
can
think it's cool that that they can use actual deaf actors, or at least that she's the deaf actor. I don't know about the other people, but
yeah, that's all. Like again, you can still do that. It's just like you got to put effort. It's like that's the thing that I get from a lot of the stuff is no effort.
hmm.
It's like you're supposed to like it.
Right.
Yeah, regardless to whatever, you're just supposed to like it.
Yeah.
And if you don't like it, shut up, bigot.
Then then you're this or that.
Yeah, it's just like, all right, whatever. Man. So, all right, well, thanks for joining me.
Okay, that was interesting. I had a
Hey,
good
look,
time.
yeah, a little discussion on the coming AI apocalypse.
Everything is fine.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we all the little dog sitting in the middle of the fire.
That's what I'm referring to.
Yeah, peachy. It's like it's gonna be great.
This is
So,
fine.
all right. So we're gonna close this out. So anybody who checked this out, thanks for checking this out. If you have anything to say about what we talked about, please let it loose in the comments. Please like and share and subscribe and all that stuff, so we can get a bigger audience, so we can have other people that can join in on the discussion. So,
Deuces.
all right. So later, let me get to this. Dilly Bob.